welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Daisy, and if you're not new here, welcome back. And today we're going to be talking about a topic that a lot of people can relate to. It's very relevant, it's very in right now, and it is blowing up my TikTok. So, as someone who has a lot of experience in this department, not to toot my own horn, which I don't know why admitting that I've been in loads of situationships would be tooting my own horn, but as someone who has quite a fair bit of experience with it, I thought it would be interesting to delve into the psychology of situationships, but also how you can avoid them, and also the repercussions of situationships on today's society. Am I right, ladies and gentlemen? Yes. Don't forget, if you like this video, to like and subscribe. Let me know your worst situationship problems and story in the comments, and let's get into it. Now, if you're unsure what a situationship entails or the definition of it, it's basically a relationship that has not been defined by the normal binaries of married, in a relationship, fiance, that kind of thing. A situationship is the combination of the word situation and relationship, obviously, and it basically refers to a more than casual, less than formal relationship. Now, this could be for many factors. This could be for distance. You're connecting with someone in another country and you can't be together because of the distance, but you're not just friends and you're not casually seeing each other because you're not casually seeing each other. So you've defined the relationship as a situationship, even though a situationship is not defined. Very confusing for the normal everyday person. It could also be that one of you is in a different place romantically or physically than the other person, and so you're not on the same page to call it a relationship or to call it friendship, so you're just working things out. Situationship. Now, a lot of people these days find themselves in that kind of situationship category when they're talking to someone. Now, I don't need to explain to you what talking to someone means, but for anyone that's just crawled onto the earth today, when I mean talking to someone, it's after you've been on a date or after you've matched on a dating app and you're getting to know each other. It's that stage of kind of courting, kind of working out the situation. Now, it does turn into a situationship when you've been doing that for a number of weeks or months and you aren't really having that conversation about what you are. A lot of people fall into this, firstly because they're scared to bring up a what are we conversation. There's a lot of stereotype around coming across needy or your expectations being too high in these kind of situations. But I do have a few reasons why situationships start and happen to begin with, and this is just from my experience and the experience of my friends. Obviously, I'm not the all-knowing, all-saying being on situationships, but I've experienced a fair few. My friends have experienced a fair few, and I feel like these are the main reasons why people get into situationships in the first place. Now, the first one is just today's dating climate in general. A lot of people these days meet on apps and are very busy with working. It could be hindrance of schedule to stop you from committing fully, but also when you meet someone on an app and you're talking to them and leading up to going on a date with them, that kind of virtual reality before actually knowing them in person puts people in this kind of rut and this kind of hole that's really hard to dig yourself out of. Because if you're not meeting someone in person, if you're not meeting through like a meet cute or your friend is introducing you to that person, there's this barrier of not really knowing what they look like, not knowing the physical vibe before getting to know them as a person, which is why, and I cannot stress this enough because I am a victim of this, and this is the main reason why I've been in situationships and not relationships. You need to meet the person as soon as possible, ASAP. If you live in the same country, even if you don't live in the same country, I'm a very big fan of getting on a plane for a boy or a girl, but if you live in the same country, live in the same city, see each other as soon as possible, because that eliminates all of the unnecessary, oh, well, we've got to know each other now, and I don't find him that physically attractive, and we don't vibe very well physically, but, you know, emotionally, I've kind of grown a connection to him. Let's just see where no. Meet each other as soon as possible, get that idea, get that connection, get that answer out of your head so you can go forward to locking that down, because all it's going to do is waste your own time, waste the other person's time, and create this confusing, conflicting feeling in your own mind. So I would recommend meeting as soon as possible. I have fallen very, very strongly victim to this, and I'm trying my best. In 2026, I will start going on dates and not leave it weeks and weeks and months before meeting someone. I promise. Number 2 is people who want to find a loophole between casual and serious relationships. For example, people that are seeking comfort, emotional support, hugs, someone to spend time with, company, someone to share interests with, but they don't want the expectations of a relationship. For example, being faithful, being responsible for a lot of the emotional needs that your partner wants. Inherently, it's selfish. You want that comfort, that connection, but you don't want the commitment that comes with a relationship. So you find yourself in a situationship, you find yourself pitching the situationship, not label, because I don't think a lot of people refer to themselves as situationships, but the ideas of keeping your relationship as it is, casual. We hang out, you come, you meet my friends, but you're not my girlfriend. We hug, we're physical, we spend multiple times together a week, but you're not my girlfriend. I tell you I love you, I call you pet names, but you're not my boyfriend. And that is probably the most well-known one. That is the one that people get the most physically hurt from. And there is a certain level in hell for the people that do that, because it's so emotionally draining, but we'll get into that later on. So yeah, that's number 2. And number 3 is the one that I don't want to admit the most, but I feel like is very relevant to this conversation, and that is the change of gender norms in society. Now, I know what you're thinking, oh, gender norms, but really, just let me cook, okay? In society these days, and for the last 20, 30 years, with the third wave feminist movement and also the talk about masculinity and how men can express themselves in today's society, I think that there have been a lot of shifts in the expectations of both the sexes and all gender identities on how they should A, be treated, and B, the expectations they have within a relationship. Now, that goes both ways. 50 years ago, it was not only expected, but very strongly enforced that men pay for meals and they financially provide. A lot of the time that's because women couldn't own their own bank accounts, but that's neither here nor there. Also, women were expected to, make themselves presentable, keep the interest of their husband, to not stray physically, to be a nurturing mother, to, hold up the house, that kind of thing. Those gender norms are something that we're really straying away from. A lot of the time now, there's a lot of discourse around showing men that you appreciate them by doing stuff like buying them flowers and being financially supportive. A lot of men are choosing to stay at home now to raise the kids, and there's a big discourse around women going out to work, men feeling underappreciated and how you can show you appreciate them, but also women wanting to be viewed as equal, as strong, as someone who doesn't need someone to provide for them. And when these gender norms mesh, even though I think it's a great thing, I think it is pivotal for the continuation of society, it does then muddy the water of relationships. Because back in the day, you met a girl you like, you courted her, you paid for her food, you did all these things, you wouldn't hold her hand, you wouldn't kiss her, and then slowly you would ask her to go out with you. A couple months later you'd be engaged, a couple of months later you would be married. That was the basic stereotypical timeline. But these days, women want to work, men might want to stay at home, women want to have a career before they have kids, before they get married, and so people are less likely to jump into relationships. They really want to know the foundation is strong before they do such. 56% of marriages in America end in divorce. I can see why people are hesitant to get into relationships, right? Well, yes. Also, I think a lot of people feel dissatisfied with maybe the person that they're trying to be in a relationship with, so they take this time to pick out their good points and bad points before they make a decision, and that ends up in a casual but serious kind of mix of relationship which is the situationship. And although I think it's very, very fair to say, hey, I want some time to think before I realise, do I want to get with this person? Do I want to be in a relationship with this person? It has created this culture where it's very normalised to be hanging out with someone every day, to be telling them that you love them, to be talking about kids and marriage and what our future looks like, but not putting the label of girlfriend and boyfriend on, which I don't really see the point of, because girlfriend, boyfriend is just words. Like, you're still doing everything the same, but for some reason girlfriend and boyfriend is like garlic to vampires for these people. Like, they do not want that level of commitment. I personally don't understand it. I think it's a lot more disingenuous to be like that. I think that if most people were honest, they would not want to be in that kind of situationship, but they put up with it because they like the person. But that's just my opinion. The big question is, why does it matter? The big question is, why do I care? Why do we care about situationships? Well, I'll tell you, it is not only emotional manipulation, especially when you get the situations where it's the majority of the time one-sided. Someone wants to be in a committed relationship, the other person is kind of breadcrumbing them, stringing them along, and situationships in general have garnered a lot of space to create new vocabulary. For example, breadcrumbing, when someone gives you just enough to keep you around. Avoidance, when someone is avoiding having these big conversations with you, but then when it comes down to it, they don't know how to express themselves, even though they had no problem with it 5 minutes ago, telling you they loved you and that you were the most amazing girl to ever exist. But I digress. So why I feel strongly about this is because it is emotional manipulation. Even if you don't realize you're doing it, I think that we've really lost touch with relationships and what is important about being someone's girlfriend and being someone's boyfriend, being someone's partner in general. I think it's paved the way for a lot of people to not take other people's feelings seriously, because it's the norm to kind of be in undefined relationships with people these days. And I'm not saying that's the general rule. Obviously, most people still do what you're supposed to do, which is date someone, get to know them, become their girlfriend, boyfriend, or partner. I understand that, but I feel like there's a real pandemic of situationships, of people treating people a certain way and getting away with it because they feed them tiny little bits of attention, affection. And I just think, as from a human standpoint, it's wrong. Just from a human standpoint, it is wrong. Not only does it make people crash out so immensely, it also changes your like molecular breakup of like how you think about love, how you view relationships, and how you view yourself. The big issue with situationships is that a lot of the time it can lower your self-esteem so immensely, because you have this person that's telling you how great you are, telling you that they want to have a future with you, but they will not date the version of you that is presented to them right now, which makes you start to think internally, what's wrong with me? How am I not attractive to this person? Why isn't this person wanting to commit? And that can cause a lot of personal self-esteem issues, and can really mess with you, honestly. Like, a lot of people I know, me included, have been really messed up by his situationships that have only lasted a couple of months, and that's because they're so intense. They love bomb you, they breadcrumb you, it's so intense, you feel so wanted, and then it's just all taken away when they ghost you or you see them with another person. And this kind of thing 50 years ago would have been considered unfaithful, but these days it's the norm. Not even 50, 10 years ago it would have been unfaithful, but these days it's the norm, and I just think that's wrong. What can we do to combat this? I think the most important bit of advice I can give you guys is, if they wanted to, they would. Now, this is for the people that pretend like they're fine being in a situationship but really want to define the relationship later on down the line. And I'm saying this to you. If they wanted to, they would. If they wanted to call you, they would. If they wanted to compliment you, they would. If they wanted to make time for you, they would. Think about yourself as a person. You never talk to people you don't want to talk to. And when you do talk to those people, you give them short responses, you take a long time to reply, and you seem disinterested. And if that's happening to you from someone who says they care about you, love you, are attracted to you, want to get to know you as a person, want to get to know your friends and family and build some sort of relationship with you, and they're showing that kind of behavior, they are not into you like you think they are. And I'm staring at you, I'm telling you this from the bottom of my heart. I needed to learn this year. I needed to go through this journey of self-love, self-worth, and I'm telling this to you, the viewer. They are not into you like you think they are. Words and actions are separate. I can say whatever I want to you right now. I've never met you in my life. I could say, wow, I just never met anyone like you. I can't stop thinking about you. You're so funny, and I just love you as a person so much. I can tell you anything and you won't judge me. I can talk to you about whatever I want and I just feel so comfortable and safe. But have I shown you that? Have I met the expectations that you have of me that are very reasonable and normal? Do you think your future husband or wife goes a week without talking to you? Do you think they're seen out with other people? Do you think your future husband or wife manipulates you in a way that you know they do? Do you think so? Because I don't think so. That's what made me get over these situations, is I said to myself, my future wife or husband would never do that to me. Never. And the thing is, it's exciting, especially if it's long distance. You have this international baddie that you're talking to and is giving you all these compliments. I get it. But sooner or later you have to wake up. It's fun, but is it fun? It's fun to tell people about it. It's fun when you're talking to them, when you're calling them, when you're video calling them, it's fun. But what about when you're by yourself? In your room, waiting and waiting and waiting, days, weeks, for them to reply to your message, a short reply, probably sometimes not even reply to it. Only contacting you when they need something, only contacting you when they need the validation and affection that they hadn't gotten for a couple of days. Only messaging you because they're finding it hard to seek that things in their everyday life, in person. That's what you deserve. That's the self-worth that you have. If someone's not talking to you, they don't want to talk to you. If someone's not interested in you, they're not interested in you. Human beings are very simple. We show how we really feel. We say not what we really mean. It's so simple. It might hurt. It might be really devastating to know that fact that someone you've invested time, energy, affection to, someone you think is the person for you, is your twin flame, you can't believe. I'll be damned. I will be damned in my grave if I ever have to ask another man to pay me a compliment, because I'm a 26-year-old woman. You think I'm spending my time in 2026 asking men to compliment me? Asking men to hang out with me? Calling a man and him not answering for 3 consecutive days? I'll be damned. I'll be damned. I will be damned. And this is for everyone. This is for everyone. Not just women, not just men. Know your self-worth. Situationships are fun, they're secretive, they're toxic, you just can't get away from them. But is it the situation or is it the person? Because if you're being honest, if you describe to this person, to someone that you care about their opinion, to your mum, if you describe this person to your mum, do you think your mum would say they were a good person? They were funny, they were charming, they were entertaining. Do you think your mum would say they would be proud for them to be your future spouse? If the answer is no, we know what to do, girls. We know what to do. And boys, I don't want to say, and people. We know what to do, people. Girls is a gender neutral term. We know what to do. And that's it. Okay guys, thank you for joining me on this video. I know it's a bit of a hard one, but I needed to get it off my chest because I'm seeing a lot of people these days on social media going through the ringer, and me too, girl, but we need to have more self-respect. Okay, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.